Hi, my name is Emily Wilcox, and I attend Xavier University. My major is occupational therapy, and my minor is deaf studies. Through the occupational therapy program, I have been given the opportunity to go to Guatemala for service learning. At Xavier, I am involved in a variety of activities. These include Xavier Sign Language Club, in which I am treasurer, Xavier University Student Occupational Therapy Association, Alpha Sigma Nu, which is a Jesuit honor society, and finally, Student Council for Exceptional Children, in which I am a mentor. I also work with 2 individuals who need assistance with home therapy. I work for my friend's father at a parking garage as a secretary. At Xavier, I have earned Dean's List for 4 semesters: Fall 2012, Fall 2013, Fall 2014, and Spring 2014. I have earned the Presidential Scholarship and the Catholic Heritage Award that applies to my undergraduate education. I have taken a variety of classes that have really helped my education and cultural knowledge. I have taken a variety of different classes on religions. Through my occupational therapy classes, I have gained an understanding of good leadership skills and good listening skills. The Deaf Studies minor gives me an understanding of the language, culture, literature, and history of the deaf community. Through the minor, involvement with members of the deaf community provides me with skills to interact with deaf both professionally and socially. During the minor, I have completed 4 American Sign Language classes, 2 beginning and 2 intermediate. I can communicate with a deaf individual if he or she were a client. I have also taken 2 culture classes. The deaf culture is where the deaf feel at home. They're with people who are the same as them and share being deaf. They're happy to be in the culture. They don't feel that it is a disability. In the classes, I learned about the use of the language, the history of the language, and education options. During my class, I have gone to many events. I have completed community-based learning where I learned from different people who work with the deaf community every day. I have gone to many silent dinners. This is where deaf people can get together and simply be deaf. I have gone to a variety of interpreted church and communicated with deaf individuals there. I have completed 16 hours of Deaf Lab with a deaf man. There, we review for tests, learn new vocabulary, and converse with deaf individuals. I have interviewed deaf individuals and have seen and gone to a residential school for the deaf. I have also attended a comedy from a child of a deaf adult and learned about the culture. In 2014 and 2015 school year, I was treasurer of the ASL club. I planned many events with a deaf individual. An occupational therapy major and a deaf studies minor will help me in a variety of ways. I can communicate using ASL on a conversational level to deaf individuals who I may work with. For example, if I were working in a hospital and a deaf individual arrived in the emergency room, I will help the process get started, not having to wait hours and hours for an interpreter. Also, for example, I can communicate directly face-to-face with a client about basic therapies. American Sign Language is a unique skill that is very difficult to learn. I've spent many hours practicing and mastering the language and cultural knowledge. I feel comfortable communicating with deaf individuals, knowing that I have an understanding of their culture.